Yo, what's your boy Ghost here, and today I'm bringing you guys another comparison video between the Owen Gun and Welgun. And I wanted to make this comparison because after the Season 3 Reloaded, both of these weapons ended up receiving some sort of change with the update. The Welgun, not so much though, just because like the update, or I guess the buff or nerf or change that this gun got was not that impactful. Like it was just a barrel change, I believe. We'll get more into that in a second. While the Owen Gun ended up receiving, I would say, a pretty huge, huge change. And the point of this video was just basically to show if the Owen Gun was still the best SMG in the game. So I'm sure a lot of people are having questions on what the best SMG in the game is, which is the better between the two. And this is the video that will hopefully answer your question. But before we do get into the comparison, I want to say if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're under 3,000. We're still 1,000 subs away, so we got a long way to get there. But every sub does help, and it's always greatly appreciated. But yeah, man. With that being said, though, let's just get into the comparison. And we have the recoil pattern for the Owen Gun, which as you guys can see, nothing too crazy. But I was actually kind of surprised that the Owen Gun got nerfed pretty severely this time around, just because like, I don't know, if you guys seen what they've been doing the last couple of weeks before this update, it's been kind of confusing, man. They've been nerfing weapons and then buffing them again, and they've just been, I don't know, they've been doing just weird things to these weapons, and I wouldn't be surprised if when Season 4 comes around, or even before then, the Owen Gun receives some sort of buff again just to make it a little bit better, because right now I feel like it's still pretty good, but it's definitely lacking. Which is good. It's a good thing because the Owen Gun's been dominating for quite some time now, and they've never been able to quite figure out how to make this gun just not as good. And I don't know, man. Maybe they went a little overboard this time. I would say it's not in a terrible spot, but it's probably to a point where they're definitely gonna end up changing it one more time, and I would not be surprised if they do so. But anyways, man. Speaking of said changes, the first changes that we're going to talk about, actually they changed a lot of things about this gun, so just bear with me here. So for starters, the upper and lower extremity damage multipliers were decreased. Specifically, the upper extremities got the significant decrease because it went from 1.45 to just 1, which is insane. And if you guys know anything about like the Owen Gun damage, the extremity damage for this gun, especially for close to medium range, was pretty damn high. So to see this happen was actually pretty good. For the lower extremities, it just went down by literally 0.1, so it went from 1.0 to 0.9, just nothing too crazy. And then for the max and mid damage range, those both got decreased. And I don't know, man, like the max damage range is, I would say, pretty significant just because it didn't really have much to begin with. It wasn't like too crazy. It was definitely there, but that was pretty significant just to minimize what this gun could do at long range. Mid, I would say that's actually also significant as well, just because mid range for this gun is really good. So, there's that. And then some magazines also ended up getting changed. The 33 Gorenko mag ended up getting changed, but no one really uses that. And then the 72 Gorenko drum mag ended up getting changed as well. Both of them got decreased from fire rate from 15 to 14.5. I don't know if that's too noticeable, as noticeable as the damage. But, obviously there goes another change. And then just now, while we're here talking about changes, the Welgun ended up only getting a short barrel, I guess kind of balanced, because it got a decrease in fire rate, but it got the damage range penalty removed. So that short barrel might be the wave. I did not use it when using the Welgun, so I cannot tell you, but that gun just got, an interesting change. While the Owen Gun, obviously clear nerf, which is, yeah, what I'm saying, definitely, we'll miss it, but we'll finally be able to use other SMGs. Like I said, though, someone told me in one of my comments from the Owen Gun video that I made like a week ago, where I highlighted its nerf, that if you build it a certain way, you won't really feel it. You just gotta make it a certain way, which I didn't end up getting to, which is my fault, to be honest. I just didn't. I don't know, man. I just been having an interesting week, so I really didn't think to use it. I probably will in the next coming week just to see if we can somehow replicate what the Owen Gun was before the update, but we're gonna have to wait and see. But with that being said, let's just get into the Welgun. And here we have the recoil pattern for the Welgun, which as you guys can see, nothing too crazy. And actually, man, this is something that actually kind of annoys me, man. Seeing stuff like this, look at this, bro. Can you guys tell me the difference between the two? You probably can't, bro. Like, if you put this side by side, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two, man. It's ridiculous, man. They this year, man, they really messed it up with the recoil pattern. There's so many Vanguard weapons that have the same recoil pattern in this game. It's ridiculous, bro. I mean, I know it's not too crazy for some of you guys, and to be honest, it shouldn't really be crazy to me or for me too. But I see these recoil patterns frequently, and to see them not be different in the state of the game where like every gun is really easily controllable, including the SMGs, it's just kind of like, man, I don't know. Hopefully Warzone 2 kind of takes a different approach, because man, I don't. Yeah, 10 attachments, really easy to shoot. It's not the wave, man. It's just not the wave. But anyways, man. Speaking of the Welgun, as I mentioned earlier, this gun didn't really see that big of a change. All it did was get a short barrel nerf / buff. Nothing too significant because I don't even use that barrel, so it doesn't really apply to me. But the reason I wanted to pick this weapon for this comparison is because this gun was already pretty good before the update. And in this update, obviously, it didn't really get changed, while the Owen Gun itself got significantly nerfed. And you know, so basically I was like, in my head, I was like, the first option that I thought about was, okay, I'm going to pick the Welgun because I think the Welgun is going to be the next candidate for the best SMG in the game. Now, I haven't really been keeping up with the Warzone times, so I don't know what other SMG people are using, but I would figure that the Welgun is probably a choice that some are having. Granted, there's obviously a lot more choices out there, but I just haven't really been paying attention. I'm trying to get back into it, man. Like I said, man, I had a really interesting week, so I just haven't really been on top of my game right now. But we're back. We'll be back for sure. But anyways, man, moving over to the first set of stats that I'm going to talk about is the fire rate. For the Welgun, we have a 643 RPM, and then the Owen Gun's 500 RPM. So off rip, that's like literally one advantage that the Welgun has had in the past as well. And yeah, you can put on fire rate attachments and whatnot, but the Welgun will still have the advantage because both of these guns I end up using fire rate attachments on anyway. So you know what I'm saying, like it doesn't matter. The advantage for the Welgun will always be there. Moving over to the damages, this is where the nerfs come into effect for the Owen Gun. For 0 to 15.2 meters, you got 56 damage to the head, neck, and chest. Now that didn't get changed, which was kind of surprising, but what did get changed was these things. For the extremities, leg or upper leg and arm, you got 39 damage to both, and then for the lower leg and arm, you got 35 damage. For the Welgun 0 to 14 meters, you got 53 damage to the head, 42 to the neck, 36 to the chest, 33 to the stomach and extremities. So obviously in this situation, the Welgun does not have the same, or really, it just gets out damaged. But the fire rate advantage obviously is still in favor of the Welgun. So although it's not as powerful, or even then, like the damage is kind of close. It's not like it's significantly one-sided, but obviously the advantage is still there for the Owen Gun. But you know, on the other side, you got the fire rate advantage for the Welgun, which would be the saving grace for it. But moving over to the other ranges, for 15.2 to 19.7 meters for the Owen Gun, you got 47 damage to the head, neck, and chest, and then 33 to the stomach, 33 to the upper leg and arm, and then 29 to the lower leg and arm. For 14 and 19 meters for the Welgun, you got 46 damage to the head, 37 to the chest, or to the neck, 31 to the chest, 29 to the stomach and extremities. Again, the damage is still in favor of the Owen Gun, but like I mentioned, in this situation at this point, I would say they're kind of neck and neck, just because, like, again, the fire rate. Like, the fire rate is such a significant thing, man. Like, it'll always be significant, especially in close, like, I guess, damages like this. There'd be some cases where the fire rate is there, but sometimes it wouldn't matter, especially if they were really close to each other. But in this case, like, it's almost a 200 RPM difference. Not really. Like, that's kind of stretching. It's like 150 RPM difference, and so that's pretty significant, especially in the SMG world. But then moving over to the 19.7 and 19% meters for the Owen Gun, you got 34 damage to the head, neck, and chest, 24 to the stomach, and then 24 to the upper leg and arm, and then 21 to the lower leg and arm. For 19 meters and above for the Welgun, you got 38 damage to the head, 31 to the neck, 26 to the chest, 24 to the stomach, and then 24 to the extremities. So in this situation, the Welgun actually has an advantage at range. Damage-wise, fire rate-wise, and in general, just I honestly would, at this point, would definitely pick the Welgun at range over the Owen Gun, just because the Owen Gun does not feel the same. And especially if you're going to, like I was mentioning earlier, if you're going to use the Owen Gun's rapid barrel again, just so you can try to make the Owen Gun feel like it was before the update. And I already have tried it, I just didn't use the class setup that I was being told. And you'll obviously lose that range factor. But anyways, man, like, in conclusion, I would have to say that the Welgun is the better SMG at the moment. The only thing that would kind of be a knock for us is the fact that we're going from a 72 round gun or even 60 round gun to 40. And that's pretty significant because I'm used to having 70 bullets in the clip. Now I'm going to have to be using 40 again. But that's no big deal. I do think the Welgun at the moment is superior to the Owen Gun. If you guys may disagree with me on that, let me know why in the comments down below if you do disagree. But yeah, man. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.